Hey now, ladies and gentlemen. Hey now, hey now, hey now, hey now. Hey now and a hey now. Hour number 4 of the line, Talk 99.5. We might just make it, John Bird.
You feeling better with that with Richard's old man air?
Yeah, the fan's helping some. But I felt off. I really felt off from the beginning of the show, like from the
And you're
moment I
getting
woke
plenty
up.
of sleep and all that.
Yeah, I guess. I don't know. But yeah, I felt off from the moment I woke up. I was like, today's not gonna be a good day. It's not
You
been
can't say that. You can't say that. Despite the way I feel, it's going to be a great day. That's what you say.
it. Are you okay?
Hmm?
You're skipping words. Are you okay?
Yeah, I've got my Waterloo blackberry lemonade soda water,
Yeah.
and it causes me to burp.
Oh, I gotcha. Well, at least you had one.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'll bring you one. Wait, I got one in the fridge. You want
No,
one?
no. I'm saying at least you had one because you thought you didn't have one today.
Oh, that's right. Well, I had brought one and then I forgot to put it in the fridge. I was like, oh my gosh. So I go to put it in the fridge and I open the door and the angels start singing, oh, and a light comes out. There was one that I had left from yesterday, so it was icy cold.
Wait, that's not the one that you said got stolen, is it?
No.
Remember you said one got stolen, somebody stole one?
Yeah, nobody stole one.
Yeah, I figured.
Yeah.
You found it?
Yeah.
Where was it at?
Yeah, it was in my bag. I'd forgotten to put it in the refrigerator. So I want to apologize for anyone that I here at work that I was suggesting that.
Yeah, you got to apologize to the entire office because you basically just accused anybody and everybody in here of it.
I'll go at 2. I'll start here at Talk 995. Then I'll work my way around to Jocks. Then I will go across the hall to all the salespeople. Even though if anyone would have stolen one, it would have been them.
Well, and for the people, the on-air people that you apologize to, I would suggest do it in the middle of their show. Like, for instance, if you go like to the Jock Studios, make sure they're not on break. Make sure they're on air when you apologize.
Yeah, well, I mean, I could call in.
Yeah, you could call them.
I would like to apologize.
Just be like, hey, this is John Bird from 99.5. We were talking about on our show about how you possibly stole my drink out of the fridge. It was in my bag, and I'm sorry.
Yeah, I think it's necessary.
Yeah, that's very necessary. Let me tell you about Deep South Construction Pros. Y'all have heard me talking about these guys over the past couple of weeks, and you've heard the high praise that I've given them, and there's a good reason for that. Let me tell you. These guys are Alabama made, Alabama roots, down home, sweet home Alabama. That's right. They love Alabama, and so because that's where they're located, man. It's not some big conglomerate where they're, headquartered in a different state or whatever. They're headquartered right here. These are your neighbors. These are your community members that are out here providing services that are really necessary services for those of us that are homeowners, such as foundation repair, irrigation problems in your yard. You may have noticed that just with all the rain yesterday, and really over the next few days, we're going to be getting a lot of rain. So it is prime time for you to be going down in your basement or maybe picking your head in the crawl space and seeing if moisture's getting in there. And you don't have to be an expert to figure that out. Usually the telltale signs are you either see it physically, you see the moisture, you see water puddling up, or you can smell it. You can smell the moisture. You can, even if it's been there for a while, you can smell the moldy, musty smell. And that right there is your number one sign that you need to get on top of it and get a solution. You may not know anything about it since you've never been down this road before, or maybe you have been down this road and the job wasn't done right and you need somebody to do it the right way. Deep South Construction Pros will do it right the first time. So I want you to reach out to them. I know this is, foundation repair and stuff like that seems like a pretty big project, but if you've got questions or you just want to ask, hey, what should I be looking for? Call them up, man. Ask them all the questions you want, all the questions you got. They are there to help you and are more than happy to talk to you about any of the issues you've got. The telltale signs on foundation issues as well that I've talked about, which is doors and windows not opening and shutting like they used to. You see some sort of sagging lintels above your garage door sagging, stuff like that. Deep South Construction Pros that got you covered, man. I believe in these guys big time, and they're such great people over there too. Reach out to them. Make sure you mention that I sent you. 256 305 1854. That's 256 305 1854. Deep South Construction Pros.com. Deep South Construction Pros.com. Super easy to find that website. They got a really cool website, so y'all check that out as well. Soon, the White House is going to be updating us on Operation Epic Fury. That is going to be Caroline Levitt, I believe. And based on the goings on, I'll probably bring that to you. We're not always going to be playing every press conference from the press briefing room, but considering the circumstances right now, I think we're going to do it. And hopefully, questions will be asked about the SAVE Act. As I stated and kind of laid out my case as to what Donald Trump should be doing on that front, John Thune, the Senate Majority Leader, has already stabbed Trump in the back. This is not the first time, by the way, in relation to the SAVE Act. He says he refuses to nuke the filibuster to pass the SAVE Act. Quote, that's not going to happen, is his quote. He says he doesn't have enough support for it. And it's like, what is it? I know I've made this point over and over. What does it matter? The Democrats are going to do it if they gain control. It is just, oh, it's so infuriating. Thune said yesterday when pressed by ABC News about altering the Senate 60 vote threshold to advance legislation, he said, quote, yeah, that's not going to happen. Trump needs to just phone it in to Thune and say, listen, dude, you're about to be on my bad side. You are the Senate Majority Leader. You hold all the power in the Senate. Get on top of it. Get this done. It's simply here's his, at least this is what I understand his argument to me, because this is not even nuking the entire filibuster. This is not an argument of we nuke the filibuster, and so you only got to have 50 votes to pass, and then the Democrats, if they gain control, they're going to take advantage of it. There's a good chance that Democrats take control if you don't pass the SAVE Act. And guess what they're going to do? If they've got enough power in Congress, they will nuke the filibuster themselves. But that's not even the argument here. The argument is to switch from the zombie filibuster that was implemented. It was a COVID era implementation where you don't even have to be there to filibuster and stall a bill, to change it to a standing filibuster, which would require these ancient fossil corpses we call congressmen and women to stand there and debate for as long as they think they can. And then once the debate's over, the Republicans have enough votes to go ahead and pass the legislation. And Thune's argument is, well, the Senate, we have our precious time. We don't have time to waste on people filibustering over the SAVE Act. We've got other things we need to do. There's nothing more important than this. So who cares? He's like, well, we've got more important things to do, so we can't pass the SAVE. What do you think the more important things are? Does anybody want to guess what those more important things are? I'll tell you one of them. The GOP Senate won't pass the Save America Act, but instead voted to place a plaque honoring those police officers that killed Trump supporters on January 6th. They voted for that. They also, instead of voting for the SAVE Act, one day, I guess this was last week, maybe 2 weeks ago, they had a dog show in the halls of the Senate. A dog show. They all brought their dogs to work and had a little doggy parade. That's what our congressmen were doing. Instead of voting for the SAVE Act, they were doing a parade with their dogs. How wonderful. These people don't care about America. They hate America. And it makes me wonder, does John Thune hate America as much as Democrats? because he sure acts like it. I mean, he's such a rhino, he's actually mocking the American voters on this issue. He labeled the push to get the SAVE Act passed as propaganda by paid influencers. Do y'all think that it's just bots on Twitter that are talking about passing the SAVE Act? NBC reporter Brennan Leach asked the question to John Thune. He said, quote, I asked Thune if he feels pressure to pass the Save America Act mounting. Does he feel pressure from constituents about passing the Save America Act? And does he feel like it's mounting? His response was, quote, a lot of that it's in that kind of, paid influencer ecosystem. So John Thune thinks that those of us that are saying the Save America Act is the most important piece of legislation on the table today, that we're getting paid to say that. That's what John Thune thinks. Is anybody, can y'all call in for those of you that are on the same page with me that want the SAVE Act passed? Has anybody gotten their checks yet? Has any of y'all gotten paid for that? What an idiot. An absolute idiot. It is truly, truly infuriating. Real quick, live to the White House, Caroline Levitt speaking. Let's go to that live.
Life more affordable for working Americans. The president will visit Thermo Fisher Scientific in Ohio and give remarks at Verst Logistics in Kentucky. On Thursday, President Trump and the First Lady will host a Women's History Month event in the East Room. And on Friday, the president will sign several executive orders, and we will provide more details on those later this week. As President Trump shared with the American people last night, the United States military is making tremendous strides towards achieving our military objectives for Operation Epic Fury. 10 days in, this campaign has been a resounding success thus far, and America's warriors are winning this important fight at an even faster pace than we anticipated. More than 5,000 enemy targets have been struck so far. Iran's ballistic missile attacks are down more than 90%, and their drone attacks are down by approximately 85% since the start of Operation Epic Fury. The United States is also annihilating the Iranian regime's navy, and we have destroyed more than 50 Iranian naval vessels, including a major drone carrier ship. None of the regime's vessels are operating in major regional waterways, and the Iranian Navy has been assessed as combat ineffective. The trend is clear. U.S. combat capabilities are increasing and growing more lethal and dominant by the day, while the Iranian terrorist regime's ability to respond has rapidly declined. Now, the U.S. military is moving to dismantle Iran's missile production infrastructure. Our incredible B-2 bombers recently dropped dozens of 2,000-pound penetrator bombs on deeply buried missile sites. Last night, President Trump reiterated his commitment toward keeping oil flowing through the Strait of Hormuz so the United States and all of our allies can receive their energy needs. President Trump will not allow rogue Iranian terrorists to stop the freedom of navigation and the free flow of energy. Let me be clear. It is a good thing to wipe out terrorists who indiscriminately target civilians and attempt to hold the global economy hostage, and President Trump should be commended for doing so. As the president made unequivocally clear to the remaining elements of this terrorist regime in his statement yesterday, if they do anything to stop the flow of oil or goods within the Strait of Hormuz, they will be hit by the world's most powerful military 20 times harder than they have been hit thus far. Moving forward, the stated objectives for Operation Epic Fury remain the same. Destroy the terrorist regime's ballistic missiles, raise their Iranian missile industry to the ground, ensure their terrorist proxies can no longer destabilize the region, and ensure that Iran never obtains a nuclear weapon. President Trump remains confident these goals will be accomplished in swift fashion. As for the oil, President Trump fully expected the rogue Iranian regime to try and disrupt the global markets. That's why President Trump and his energy team have been planning for this long before the strike and have moved quickly to address these temporary disruptions. Thus far, the Trump administration has offered political risk insurance to tankers operating in the Gulf. The Treasury temporarily waived certain oil-related sanctions, and the Commander-in-Chief has offered the U.S. Navy to escort tankers when necessary. The President and his energy team are closely watching the markets, speaking with industry leaders, and the U.S. military is drawing up additional options following the President's directive to continue keeping the Strait of Hormuz open. I will not broadcast what those options look like, but just know the President is not afraid to use them. Rest assured to the American people, the recent increase in oil and gas prices is temporary, and this operation will result in lower gas prices in the long term. Once the national security objectives of Operation Epic Fury are fully achieved, Americans will see oil and gas prices drop rapidly, potentially even lower than they were prior to the start of the operation. And we will live in a world where Iran can no longer threaten the United States or our allies with a nuclear bomb. On another matter here at home, President Trump is urging Congress to pass the Save America Act, one of the most critical pieces of legislation in our nation's history. The Save America Act is overwhelmingly popular with all Americans because each provision is rooted in common sense. The Save America Act has 5 simple requirements as requested by the President of the United States. Number 1, voters have to show ID to cast a ballot in an American election. Very simple. 90% of Americans, including more than 80% of Democrat voters, agree with this. Number 2, the Save America Act will require all voters to show proof of citizenship in order to register to vote in American elections. Again, this is popular and rooted in common sense. Only American citizens have the right to vote in American elections. But after Joe Biden and the Democrats allowed tens of millions of illegal aliens into our country, it's more important than ever to ensure that only American citizens are registering to vote on our nation's voter rolls, and Congress needs to pass this. Number 3, the Save America Act abolishes the incredibly unsecure practice of universal mail-in ballots, which throw the door wide open for fraud. Importantly, the Save America Act maintains exceptions for Americans to use mail-in ballots like for illness, disability, military, or travel reasons. The bipartisan 2005 report of the Commission on Federal Election Reform, chaired by, of all people, former President Jimmy Carter and former Secretary of State James Baker, concluded that, quote, absentee ballots remain the largest source of potential voter fraud, and it is time for Congress to finally address this. Number 4, the Save America Act permanently bans men from competing in women's sports. President Trump signed a landmark executive order upholding the promise of Title IX and ending this dangerous and unfair practice. But now it's time for Congress to codify this into law. Number 5, the Save America Act bans transgender mutilation surgery for children. Again, President Trump signed a common sense executive order to do this and kept his promise to the American people, but now Congress needs to do the same and codify it. It's well past time for Democrats in Congress to stop perpetuating the radical and false claim that you can somehow change a child's sex. You cannot. Passing the Save America Act is the most important thing that Republicans and, frankly, Democrats can do to strengthen election integrity and protect our democracy. It's what the American people elected Republicans to do, and they must deliver on it as soon as possible. The President is calling on Congress to get the job done and send this historic piece of legislation to his desk immediately for signature. So with that today, I will take your questions. Benny, thank you for being here, and why don't you start us off?
Thank you, Caroline. So my first question is actually about the Save America Act. So one of the biggest things that the Democrats are saying, the claims that they're making, is that the Save America Act, it would prevent married women from voting in elections or make it harder for them. What do you have to say to those claims? Is there any validity to them, and where where do you think they're getting this from?
There is zero validity to these claims, and I'm glad that you brought them up, because you have the Democrats who have created this myth, and it has been perpetuated, unfortunately, by many in the mainstream media. Let me be very clear. The Save America Act does not prohibit anyone from voting, with the exception of illegal aliens. And the greatest way to disenfranchise American citizens from voting in American elections is to allow illegal aliens to vote, which is what Democrats want to do. We see it taking place in Democrat jurisdictions at the state and local level across this country. So the Save America Act corrects that. And as far as married women who have changed their name, if they're already registered to vote, they're entirely unaffected by the Save Act. And for the small fraction of individuals who have changed their name or their address, they can still register to vote, of course. They just have to go through their state processes to update that documentation. And this is something that the American people, married women, and minorities, and people all across this country who Democrats are insultingly saying cannot do this, they're already doing it every day, going to the Social Security office, going to the DMV, and I think it's frankly insulting that the Democrats are saying that there are certain groups of people in this country who aren't smart enough to update their documentation to allow them to vote. Again, this is a huge myth, and thank you for giving me the opportunity to address it.
Of course, and then just one more question about DHS, the funding issue. It's been 3+ weeks now. I was at the airport this morning in St. Louis, Missouri, and it was early in the morning, and one of the TSA agents, I saw her, she was kind of tearing up, she was crying, and I asked her, I was like, what's wrong? And she was like, I can't make my phone payment, I can barely make my car payment that's coming up. I think a lot in the Beltway, there's so much noise between Democrats, Republicans. It's the Democrats' fault, it's the Republicans' fault. But what is the White House's message to the American people that are struggling because they're not getting that paycheck? It's take away the politics. What do you have to say to those people?
President Trump wants the Department of Homeland Security. He wants TSA, he wants FEMA, he wants the brave men and women of our United States Coast Guard to receive their paychecks, and he wants this department to be fully funded and fully reopened. And so to any American out there who is struggling without a paycheck, we know there's more than 100,000 of you across the country. To any American out there who is showing up to an airport and facing incredibly long wait times and lines, call your Democrat member of Congress and tell them to fund the Department of Homeland Security. That's what President Trump wants to do, and it's completely ridiculous that the American people are suffering as a result of these partisan games that are being played by Democrats on Capitol Hill.
Thank you. Steve.
You said the operation was going faster than anticipated. What is your current timeline for how long the war will last?
So look, as you know, Steve, the president and the U.S. military's initial timeline was about 4 to 6 weeks to achieve the full objectives of Operation Epic Fury. Again, to destroy their missiles and their ability to make them, destroy their Navy, permanently deny them nuclear weapons forever, and to, of course, weaken their evil terrorist proxies in the region. We know that the U.S. military and our brave warfighters are quickly and expeditiously executing these objectives well ahead of schedule, but ultimately the operations will end when the commander-in-chief determines the military objectives have been met, fully realized, and that Iran is in a position of complete and unconditional surrender, whether they say it or not.
Does the president still want Iran's unconditional
All right,
surrender?
so we got the bottom of the hour. We'll keep our eye on this, see where it goes. Ahead of schedule, as she said. She also talked a lot about, ironically enough, the Save America Act, vitally important because Democrats want illegals to vote. So Iran's newly appointed supreme leader couldn't show up to I don't know if this was a Khamenei memorial service or what. But he couldn't show up, so they pulled out a cardboard cutout of him instead. Like, I'm not even.
No, they didn't.
Look. It's a cardboard cutout
That's
of
so
it.
jackleg, man. That is just so.
Oh, that's crazy, dude. Look at that. That's so funny. I'm like, oh, look at your new supreme leader. He's made of cardboard. Don't shoot. All right, so Caroline Leavitt continuing to go on. I'll keep an eye on that as we move along. Mandu bringing you this part of the show. Mandu, love me some Mandu. As you know, I was at the Mandu Studios yesterday getting my workout in. In a rare event, I didn't have a workout partner yesterday. It was just me and the trainer. And I got the workout in that I needed to get, man. I needed that workout. Trish and I were sitting in the recliners yesterday, and I look over at her and I do this. No, I do this all the time, by the way. I look over at her and I do this number, kind of flex my
Showing them
bicep.
guns.
I flex my bicep, and I kind of look at her and I'm like, "Come on." And so she reaches over and she grabs it. She's like, "Oh my gosh, I can't even fit my hands around it. It's so big." Because my biceps are growing, baby, thanks to Mandu. Love Mandu and what they do for me, man. Summer's around the corner. I mean, the weather's already heating up, so you're going to be ending up at the pool. You're going to be ending up at the beach. You're going to be outside in general. Even if you don't do the water, man, you're going to be out there cutting grass, and you'd like to cut grass with your shirt off, wouldn't you? I'm talking to you guys, obviously. I mean, women, if you like to cut grass with your shirt off, too, I guess it's fine, but mostly guys, you know, you want to be looking good as possible. Well, you can get results fast at Mandu. If you try it out, sign up and get going, I'm telling you, it's going to change the game. But don't let me leave the women out, because women, this is for you as well. Don't let the name fool you. Men, women, young people, old people, all kinds, a diverse group going to Mandu, getting a 15-minute workout in. You can do it once, twice, 3 times a week. Mine varies. Sometimes I'll do 3 times a week. Sometimes I do once a week. It's just whatever fits in my schedule. That's what I do. And it has changed the game for me, man. It has made such a difference, not just in my health, but in my life overall. I can't thank them enough. And 3 locations: Huntsville, Tuscaloosa, and Birmingham, Homewood, technically. I want y'all to try it out. Get a free session at any of those locations by going to mandu.com, MANDUU.com. Click that button that says claim your free session. Bada bing, bada boom. Pick your day, pick your time, show up, and try it out. See what you think. If you like it and you sign up in the month of March, you're going to get 10% off of your first month. And then after that, if you stick with Mandu for 90 days, after 90 days, you will get 5% off your monthly fee going forward for as long as you do Mandu. 5% off every single month. Can't beat that, man. It's good savings right there. So hit them up. Make sure you mention yours truly. Tell them that I sent you, and get yourself in shape for the summer. The number for the Homewood location, 205-438-6003. So you can call them and get the free session if you want to do it that way. Or all the information for all 3 locations, mandu.com, MANDUU.com. All right. Will, instead of going back to the press conference, should we do the Will segments? I don't want to leave people out today.
Your call, buddy. You're the boss.
Well, we'll find out what Caroline Leavitt says. She's going to be taking questions from reporters, and it's probably mostly what we've talked about already. So let's do what the people want.
Let's do it, man.
And that is, ladies and gentlemen, the Wheel of Segments. What do we got?
Love is in the air.
I give you that love in the air tonight.
I like that, man.
Out loud.
Doom, dum, da, doom, da, dum.
Looking weird, but it's moving for all my life. Out loud.
Yeah.
Out loud.
Man, you sound good through that megaphone.
Thanks. Even when I'm sick, I sound good. I sound just like Phil Collins, didn't I?
You do. It's amazing.
So Mason. All right. Let's see.
What we got?
What do we got? First. What do we got? What was the segment again?
Love is.
Oh, yeah,
love is
yeah.
in the
That's right.
air.
That's right. Love is in the air. All right. Up first, headline. This is from local10.com. It is out of what town is this? This is in Holly, Florida. Is it Holly or Haley, Florida? Haley, Florida. It's at a Verizon store. Headline: Hallie Verizon store manager caught airdropping himself woman's sex videos.
Oh, dang. Well, that was pretty dumb of her.
Well, here's how it played out. A woman
Uh-oh.
mulling a switch from AT&T to Verizon ended up the victim of an intimate crime after visiting the latter's retailer in Haley on Thursday afternoon. Investigators say Noel Guerrera Vaquer. He's obviously not queer. That's not. It's Vaquer. We'll call him Noel. His name's Noel.
Noel, there we go.
He's the manager of the Verizon store at 7925 Haley Gardens Boulevard. Airdropped videos of the woman having sex with her partner from her iPhone to his personal phone under the guise of assisting with the process of setting up potential service. So here you have the Verizon store employee who has got the lady's phone, and she's like, here's my iPhone. I want to switch from AT&T to Verizon.
She's got to know, man.
And he's over there. He's like, all right, let me switch it up. And he's looking through her photo album or whatever, and he's sitting there sending himself the private pictures that she has in her phone. Police say Guerrera, 35, of Haley Gardens, had claimed he needed to look at her AT&T bill as she sought a quote around 3:45 p.m. A Haley Police Department arrest report states the woman, quote, realized that something was wrong after leaving the store when she observed a notification on her phone indicating that an airdrop transfer had been successfully completed, listing the recipient as Noel. It literally said on her phone that she had airdropped images to the guys, and his name was on there. Police said, quote,
Oh, no.
the notification included a thumbnail image showing explicit content of herself, showing which images he airdropped to himself.
Man.
Officers interviewed 2 Verizon employees who confirmed that employees generally have no reason to access a customer's photo gallery. Authorities said Guerrero claimed that the airdrop transfer was a mistake and didn't realize it happened until the victim left the store. Quote, it should be noted that the process of transferring images through Apple AirDrop requires a user to select the specific photos or videos being transferred, at which point thumbnail previews of the selected images appear on the device screen.
Oh.
The transfer must then be directed to a specific receiving device and accepted in order for the AirDrop transfer to be completed. You know how AirDrop works.
Mm-hmm.
And so he's trying to say, oh, it was an accident. I was trying to change your service, but it accidentally airdropped. That led to investigators to conclude that the transfer was deliberate. Police arrested him, Guerrero, a Cuban national, on a charge of offenses against computer users as an unauthorized alien, and took him to the Turner Guilford Night Correctional Center. He appeared in court on Friday morning, where a judge found probable cause for the charge, ordering him to be held on $2,500 bond. It doesn't seem like enough.
No.
When contacted for comment, Verizon spokesperson said the store is independently owned by franchisee Russell Cellular and directed Local 10 News to that company. Local 10 News requested comment from Russell Cellular and is awaiting response as the as of the publication of this article.
Man, he might as well just close up the store.
Yeah, well, and I don't know. I mean, can you really blame the guy that owns the store? I mean,
Yeah, but
outside of the
people
fact
aren't
that
going to go back in, even if that guy's not there.
right. Well, yeah. I mean, I guess it is kind of his fault that he hired a scummy guy, but
I mean, if somebody stole my nude pictures, I would be so upset.
would you?
Yes.
What if they stole them and were like very impressed by him?
Well, I mean, I could start an OnlyFans, and then people would pay money for it.
Yeah. I mean, what if they stole it and the guy came to you and he said, "I'm really impressed by these pictures"?
I would take him down. I would take him apart.
Why?
Because
For complimenting you?
he had no right. He had no right.
Okay. I'm just curious what your response would be if somebody
Oh,
did get your nudie
crap.
pictures.
Oh, crap.
What happened?
A black Corvette just circled around again
Mm.
from this morning. They're waiting for me.
Maybe that's what they're trying to do. They're trying to get your nudie pictures.
Yeah.
Trying to get that
blackmail me.
They're trying to get that Dr. Dingling photo gallery. That's what they're doing. Up next on Love is in the Air, headline from Us Weekly. Party mom allegedly held drunken parties for teens, gave alcohol, and encouraged sex acts.
Oh, no. Here we
Here
go.
we go again. California woman deemed a party mom by prosecutors was found guilty of 48 criminal charges after she allegedly hosted drunken parties for teens at her home where she encouraged them to engage in sex acts while intoxicated. Now, I don't know about your era, John Bird, but you know, when in high school, there were always a couple of sets of parents that were known to be the parents that would let you and your friends come over and drink as long as you stayed at their house.
Yeah.
Like there was no leaving or anything like that.
Or if you stayed on their property, because in my case, I drank too much Everclear and threw up and passed out in a bush outside the house.
Yeah.
But as long as it was on the property, they were good with
that
it.
was generally the rules. You stayed on the property. Sometimes it would be out camping or whatever, but you'd have to give them your keys if you were driving
Right.
at that time and all kinds of stuff. You know, that's not I'm not giving that behavior a pass because it's illegal, but it happened back in the day.
Oh, yeah.
But the sex acts part, I never experienced that. It was never like, you know, the parents start pushing you into doing the nasty as teenagers.
Yeah, that's kind of sick behavior. Did she participate or just encourage?
Well, it says the majority of the teens were 14 and 15 years old.
Oh, dang. Oh, no.
And
no,
some
no.
were too drunk to consent to sex, according to the district attorney's office.
Oh, my God.
Children under the age of 18 are, under California law, unable to consent to intercourse. Shannon O'Connor, who's 51, was accused of buying and providing alcohol, including vodka and Fireball whiskey, for teens at the parties held at her Los Gatos home. She also allegedly handed out condoms to minors at the gatherings.
What?
She warned the victims not to disclose the parties or she could go to jail.
Oh, yeah, that was going to work.
The parties occurred between June of 2020 and May of 2021 during COVID's height, according to the complaint. At the end of O'Connor's jury trial, where 20 young adults and 41 witnesses testified, she was found guilty on Wednesday, March 4th, of felony child abuse charges, including 2 felony sex offenses, according to the district attorney's office. O'Connor, not only didn't she protect these children, she endangered their safety, coordinated their sexual assaults, and then tried to get them not to tell, according to DA Jeff Rosen. These brave kids came forward to tell the truth about what happened and put a stop to it. O'Connor's defense attorney did not immediately return request for comment. According to prosecutors, at one of O'Connor's drunken and destructive parties involving about 5 14-year-olds on New Year's Eve, she allegedly stood by and watched one intoxicated teenager sexually assault a minor girl in a bed.
Oh, my gosh. Man, she's going to be doing some time. Dang.
During another party, prosecutors said O'Connor led a drunk teen to a 14-year-old girl who was intoxicated, resulting in that assault. Afterwards, the girl went to O'Connor and asked, "Why did you leave me in there with him? Like you knew what he was going to do to me." On another occasion, O'Connor gave a teen a condom and shoved him into a bedroom where an intoxicated teen had been placed. Boy, that sounds like a Jeffrey Epstein deal.
That's exactly what I was thinking.
Good Lord, man. And by the way, I don't know why that story is in this category. That is awful.
Yeah.
Let's trash that story. That does not belong in that
okay.
category.
Please let the next story be about a very clever and creative way that a guy proposed to a girl.
I think it is.
Okay.
I think it is.
Okay, all right.
It says Indian River County inmate.
Oh, no.
Not a good start.
No.
Faces escape charge after leaving jail barbecue for sex in portable toilet.
Yeah. Where is the ring?
This is out of Vero Beach. An inmate at the Indian River County Jail faces a new felony charge after authorities say he slipped away from a barbecue event for charity to have sex with a woman in a portable toilet. Wait, where are they doing a barbecue event for charity in a jail?
I don't know, but I guess it was one of the women that attended it.
The inmate, Hartley Elliott Sanchez, 35 years old, was a trustee whose job was to help serve food at the event when he wandered off, an arrest report says. Okay, so he's probably off campus. He's probably not at the jail. As a trustee, they probably transferred him to an event where they needed some extra hands because he was a trustee, and so he was helping at an event but didn't follow directions, which was do not leave, and he left. He thought he could just go over to the porta potty and get a little shag in and get back to work, right?
Good grief.
Surveillance video shows Sanchez abandoning his post, walking behind a boat display near the portable toilets and conversing with two women. And making sure no one was watching, a woman went into a toilet and Sanchez went in shortly after. The duo reemerged separately a little while later. When deputies asked him about it, Sanchez acknowledged the encounter and offered that investigators should check out the video.
Check it out, man.
They identified the woman as a former inmate by matching footage to booking photos. Sanchez, who was awaiting sentencing at the time, now faces one count of prisoner escape or attempting to escape under Florida law. He's being held without bond. Under state law 944.40, even briefly stepping out of an assigned work area while in custody can count as an escape attempt. The barbecue is an annual event where profits and donations go to benefit the Florida Sheriff's Youth Ranches, an organization that helps at-risk children throughout the state. So it sounds like he didn't try to escape. He just left his post for a minute to go get some poontang in the booty booth, the portable toilet.
Yeah, but I mean, that's still breaking the rules.
Whatever. Anyway.
Okay, are you telling me for the record that you are for this carnal act?
No. I'm just saying that at least he didn't run away. You know?
Well, I mean, that's true.
He just got some booty and came on back to the barbecue.
Dang. Man, what about the woman?
And that's what we call Love is in the Air.
I bet she could too.
No, John.
What in the world? Why do I say these things? I'm sorry, everybody.
Why would you say good Lord?
You're a bad influence on me, man. You're such a bad influence.
Noto Roofing, NOTOroofing.com, NOTOroofing.com. them. 205-848-2299. That is 848-2299. Y'all hit them up. Get that free roof inspection. You got nasty storms from last night, from days ago, and more to come. So get it done. I would suggest go ahead and set one up for next week. Call them up. Say, Andrew Mclain sent me. Go ahead and get your roof inspection for next week. It's free. Complimentary roof tune-up. All on the house just for you. 205-848-2299. Ernest Financial, retire with Ernest.com. Retire with Ernest.com. David Ernest and his team, who, as you know, have been doing this over 45 years. I think it's about 45. It's right around that. And they know the financial markets. They know how to deal with your retirement and make sure that it goes up, and away. They essentially what they do is they put a floor under your retirement to make sure it doesn't go the opposite direction, because as you get closer to retirement, it becomes that much more important that your money stays in place. Also, you need a plan in place in order to have retirement go the way you want it. You can't just kind of freestyle it. I mean, you can, but it just may not work out in your favor. Get a plan in place, make sure it's protected, and let them put it where it's good, in a place where it's going to grow. Your 401ks, your 403bs, IRA, rollover, tax-free, tax-deferred, doesn't matter what it is. These guys can make it happen. And the beauty of it is they don't take fees from you. They get them elsewhere. So it doesn't cost you any money. They just get in there and do their thing. 833-596-7233 is the number. 833-596-7233. 888-848-3333. Online retirewithernest.com. John Bird, thank you, buddy.
Thank you, brother.
We'll do it again tomorrow. And until next time, Circle.